But human beings who can bring yesterday's fears and traumas into today and relive them, and who can bring tomorrow's fears and traumas into the present through anticipation, human beings uniquely, of all the people in the world, are chronically anxious. That's what it means to be human. It means you're chronically anxious. And it's something no other creature except self-conscious people understand. We live self-consciously in finite time, and therefore none of us can escape chronic anxiety. So if all your life you've just thought you were the only one who is chronically anxious, look around. Everybody's chronically anxious. That's what it means to be human. And don't let anybody take that away from you. The idea that you might go to some religious institution or some church and be given peace of mind is an ultimate idolatry. If anybody gives you peace of mind, they've taken away your humanity. They've made you less than human. The job of a religious institution or a church is never to give peace of mind. It's to give you the courage and the ability to embrace the anxiety that's part of your humanity and still to live with integrity. So the only creature that has to deal with chronic anxiety in the entire universe, to our knowledge, is a human being. And what does that mean? That means that human beings are the only creatures that ever commit suicide. It means that human beings are the only creature that could ever be hypnotized. It means that human beings are the only creatures who use drugs, because we are the only creature in the entire universe that has to cope with the trauma of self-consciousness. We're the only creature that asks questions whether life has meaning, whether life has purpose. And we have to wrestle, as no other creature has to wrestle, with the possibility of meaninglessness and purposelessness and the reality of death. So self-conscious creatures, we human beings, must learn how to cope creatively with anxiety, how to bank the fires of our debilitating anxiety that self-consciousness alone brings. Now, the major coping device that we human beings have developed over the centuries is religion. Anthropological evidence points to the fact that self-consciousness and religion were twins at birth. We do not know of any culture of self-conscious human beings that does not have a religion. We do not know of any religion that is practiced by anyone except a self-conscious human being. Self-consciousness and religion are twins. And all religious systems, while varying widely in their content, all of them, at least at the beginning, postulate a God who is external to our world, a deity who can invade our world, a deity who can do for us some of the things that we cannot do for ourselves, a divine power that does not share our limitations. That's why we say of God, God is omnipotent, because we know that we are not omnipotent. And that God is omniscient, because we know that our knowledge is limited. And that God is omnipresent, because we know that we are bound in time and space. God is eternal and we are finite. God is immortal and we are mortal. Every adjective that we use to describe God is an adjective that takes a human limitation and eliminates it, and locates the unlimited quality in this external being. The fear that is born in self-consciousness, that makes us feel inadequate and insecure, is what drives this definition of God. That's why we say really strange things like there are no atheists in foxholes. And we call this understanding of God external, supernatural, invasive, capable of doing things that no human being can do, We call this understanding of God theism. And if anyone does not believe that this God is real or stands apart from this theistic definition of God, that person is proclaiming something that we call atheism. And once we have defined God as external and supernatural and willing to come to our aid, we have some problems. The Bible tells us that God came to the aid of the Jewish people in Egypt when they were in slavery. But one wonders why this God did not come to the aid of the Jewish people in the 20th century when they were victims of the Holocaust. When we attribute to this God miraculous powers, we've also got to explain why this God does not use them, which sometimes means that our image of God presents a God who is either immoral and who will not use the supernatural power that this God presumably has to right the wrongs of our society, or this God is impotent. He doesn't have the power to do it. And either an impotent God or an immoral God does not have a very long shelf life in our society. Now, once we have God defined as external, supernatural, and willing to come to our aid, then we human beings almost inevitably develop religious systems. And all religious systems are designed to win for ourselves God's favor so that God will do what we want God to do. It's a really manipulative thing. We want God to be our protector. We want God to come to our aid, to deliver us from evil, to overcome our separation and our loneliness, to achieve atonement. Every religion has a doctrine of atonement. And human beings project happiness as the ability to live under the protection of the supernatural. And the liturgies of our religious systems are the ways that we try to accomplish making God do our will.